Only 15 years ago, Blackberry was the leading manufacturer of smartphones. It had a 43% share of the smartphone market. It was worth $45 billion in 2010. You could have your Motorola, Nokia, and Samsung, but for business, Blackberry was it. Stalwart, secure, functional, but it fell rapidly, losing control of half the world's smartphone market to less than 1% in 2015. Welcome to the dramatic rise and fall of the smartphone empire. Today we will dive into BlackBerry's journey from beginning to end. The rise of BlackBerry. This amazing story began when Mike Lazaridis and Doug Fregin graduated from the University of Waterloo in Ontario, Canada, in the early 1980s. Lazaridis received a $600,000 contract from General Motors to make barcode technology for a film. Using this amount, Lazaridis and Fregin established Research in Motion in 1984. It was the year when Apple started to sell the Macintosh computer. They rented space above a bagel shop to start their work. Lazaridis became CEO, while Fregin ranked as Vice President of Operations. Soon, RIM became a strong competitor in the market due to its successive innovations. In 1988, when RIM invented a system for integrating wireless data processors and pagers, it became the first wireless data technology developer in North America and the first company outside Scandinavia. This system helped technicians send their data messages through pagers. When Jim Balsillie, an industrious Harvard MBA graduate, saw their project on technology for mobile point-of-sale credit card processing, he initially wanted to buy RIM, but then he decided to join RIM, investing $125,000 and becoming co-CEO. He handled sales and accounting, while Lazaridis increased his focus on the technological aspect of the business. Balsillie made new strategies to expand RIM internationally that increased the number of employees. By the mid-1990s, the company had 30 experts developing electronics hardware and radio frequency wireless communications. At that time, Hotmail was the hot new email service. AOL was sending out CDs to get on the internet, and getting online meant listening to the screech of a 56 kbps modem. The personal digital assistant, PDA, was making its way into the market. All these types of products were very big. Manufacturers like Apple and Microsoft were trying to make them small. Apple made one called the Newton, but it flopped. Microsoft kept trying to shrink a PC down into a handheld, but it was also unsuccessful. Only one PDA was successful. It was called Palm Pilot, and it was a big deal. It was actually a real computer that happens to be the most popular handheld computer. The developer of Palm believed that a mobile revolution was coming. Really, the iconic Palm 3C was amazing with its color screen. In 1996, RIM launched an early predecessor to the BlackBerry called the RIM 900 Interactive Pager. It was successful because of its QWERTY keyboard for efficient two-way messaging between customers and dispatchers. It was said that the story of the name BlackBerry was related to the keyboard of the RIM 900. When employees saw the keyboard layout, it reminded them of the seeds of blackberries, and the name BlackBerry was coined. The users welcomed the RIM 900, and it became famous soon. You could see them on the belts of doctors, lawyers, and other successful business people. It was considered a communication tool for work. It was a highly sophisticated device for its time. The developers put an Intel 386SXLV processor and 2 megabytes of system memory in it. Another important feature was parcel tracking apps that could integrate with logistics networks. In 1997, RIM was listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange, raising more than $115 million. RIM's products comprised mostly hardware like wireless modems and radio transmitter base stations. RIM took its next successful step in 1999 when it launched BlackBerry Wireless Email Service in North America. This secure system was designed for businessmen or other consumers and provided them with real-time access to their emails. Soon, RIM introduced BlackBerry handhelds, the 850 and 957, to access its email service. They enabled users to surf wireless web pages and manage contacts beyond just email. In 1999, the 850 was launched. Of course, it was a breakthrough in the integration of computing and wireless technologies. Its design included over 15 million transistors, making it a small handheld device. It had a powerful processor, a 2-watt transceiver, and an integrated internal antenna. A full keyboard, LCD display, and ample memory made it a highly demanded product. In 2000, RIM launched the 957, a wireless handheld that used the Mobitex network rather than GSM-based technology. It supported wireless email, internet, paging, and organizer features. It had a 32-bit Intel 386 processor, 5 megabytes of flash memory, an easy-to-use keyboard, and an embedded wireless modem. Really, it was mind-blowing. The consumers were satisfied because they did know their email would arrive on the handheld the instant it would have shown up on the desktop. RIM was growing rapidly and introducing amazing products every year. Soon it was going to experience its golden period, which started in 2002. But before we start it, we want to point out the important role Blackberry played in the September 11, 2001 attacks. The New York Times reported,
"Big WTC explosion. I'm going to street. I'm scared."
That was Lynn Federman's frantic email message to her husband a few seconds after the first hijacked plane crashed into the World Trade Center. Ms. Federman, a corporate lawyer, was in her office at JP Morgan Chase, 3 blocks from the Trade Center, punching the message into her Blackberry pager.
What?
Her husband, Joseph Korb, wrote back on his Blackberry from Newark, where he was on jury duty.
"Seems helicopter crashed into WTC.
Ms. Federman replied.
Going to street now. Very scary. End of world."
Sound, this rumble.
Everybody go straight. This ambulance is about 100 feet ahead.
Evacuating this part of Manhattan. Clear out of here now. Folks, we are evacuating this part of Manhattan. Get out of here now. Go, let's go. Come on.
How are people getting off the island right now?
Right now, they're walking over the 59th Street Bridge, they're walking over the Brooklyn Bridge.
Long Island Railroad, limited service. New Jersey, if you want to get to New Jersey, folks, you have to go to 34th and 11th at the Jacob Javits Center. They will assist you getting limited service. City subways, not working.
Like many people in the aftermath of that chaotic Tuesday morning, Ms. Federman and Mr. Korb found that telephones and cell phones worked only sporadically. So they communicated with each other in terse text messages for several hours as Ms. Federman, covered in ash, fled on foot from Lower Manhattan.
I had my cell phone in one hand, and it was useless, and my Blackberry in the other, and it was my lifeline that day.
Ms. Federman recalled. Blackberry was using a data system that worked well. It did not stop working because it did not depend on cellular telephone systems or the local telephone network that were not working. The efficiency of Blackberry on September 11th increased its market share because governments in Canada and the United States ordered large numbers of them. Blackberry became the most significant device for those in leadership and powerful positions. The golden period of Blackberry, the uniqueness of its brand and ideas helped Blackberry gain a leading position in the cell phone market. the company chose a blue water strategy to capture the market. Blue water is a concept referred to a fresh or unexplored area without any competition between companies. A company that enters this area captures it without any competition. The business owners who have unique business ideas dominate the market. The 21st century started with the success story of Blackberry, which came with unique products and conquered the market. In 2001, Europe experienced RIM's email service for the first time. It entered into a partnership with IBM, Voltus and Caston, which helped RIM reach corporate and military officials. RIM entered into another partnership with Hutchison Telecommunications in Hong Kong and Telstra Corporation in Australia that made its entry into the Asia-Pacific market. In 2002, BlackBerry introduced its first smartphone, the BlackBerry 5810. This remarkable piece of technology started a new era of smartphones and ended the life of monochrome screens. BlackBerry beat its competitors like Nokia and Motorola due to this outstanding device. Although initially it targeted businessmen rather than common people, millions of users left using their old phones and Palm Pilots, looking at its technological capabilities and stylish outlook. People called it Crackberry due to its addictive nature. The BlackBerry 5810 had color screens, full keyboards, email, and internet browsing. It used a Java-based operating system that was connected to 2.5 GSM mobile phone networks using general packet radio service. When the users wanted to call, they needed a headset because it didn't come with a microphone and speaker. The growing company introduced the BlackBerry 7230 in 2003, the BlackBerry 7100 in 2004, the BlackBerry Pearl 8100 in 2005-2006, and the BlackBerry Curve 8300 in 2007. From BlackBerry 5810 to BlackBerry Curve, the company continued innovation and introduced these models with larger screens, faster processors, and more advanced features, including its own operating system, BlackBerry OS, that was well known for its security and reliability. The secure messaging mobile platform named BlackBerry Messenger played a vital role in its growth. Thanks to this messenger, users like business professionals who needed to communicate sensitive information could send and receive encrypted messages. Considering BlackBerry's success, government agencies and corporations began their partnership with it. A large number of federal employees in the United States started to use it when the US government approved the use of BlackBerry devices. By 2007, professionals in the legal, finance, healthcare, and engineering sectors had bought 9 million smartphone devices. The fall of BlackBerry. The iPhone, one of BlackBerry's competitors, introduced a new model in 2007, targeting common people. It was an outstanding device, containing 3-in-1. It was not only a mobile phone, it also had a widescreen iPod with touch controls and an internet communications device. If you're guessing that it was a heavy device, you are wrong. Interestingly, it was a light device. Steve Jobs, Apple's CEO, was right when he claimed, "iPhone is a revolutionary and magical product that is literally 5 years ahead of any other mobile phone." Very soon, the iPhone caught media attention, and looking at its advanced features, the media named it the BlackBerry killer. Though RIM and Nokia ignored it, Google quickly welcomed it. Val Sealy, co-CEO of BlackBerry, said, "The recent launch of Apple's iPhone does not pose a threat to research in motion its consumer-geared BlackBerry Pearl and simply marks the entry of yet another competitor into the smartphone market." Anyway, the iPhone didn't have a physical keyboard optimized for email. In addition, Apple couldn't compete with BlackBerry's security capabilities, which encrypted data and selectively wiped devices. But common users welcomed the iPhone because of its lush touchscreen and growing app ecosystem. iPhone did know that professionals are the real market for RIM. It began to penetrate this market, claiming that it also had a similar email system. Eventually, people started to have 2 mobile phones, a BlackBerry for business and another personnel phone. As a counterattack, RIM launched its new model, the BlackBerry Storm, with the collaboration of Verizon Wireless. Though it had a touchscreen, it failed to compete with the iPhone due to rushed hardware and software development. Despite its initial high sales, users started to complain very soon. The return and support calls created panic in RIM. Apple was rapidly gaining market share, and by October 2008, it left RIM behind in quarterly sales. While Blackberry was hardly competing with Apple, a new competitor emerged in the market. Google launched its first smartphone, the HTC Dream, with Android. The phone had custom home screen support, widgets, app multitasking, and a notification drawer. One of its features was its collection of apps, which caught the attention of many users. Additionally, the phone was supporting Google's own Gmail, Maps, Search, and YouTube apps. Already, the market was not good for Blackberry. The partnership between Microsoft and Nokia made the situation worse. Nokia agreed with Microsoft to focus on the Windows Phone as the smartphone platform and ecosystem for both companies. Stephen Elop, the president and CEO of Nokia, said, "The game has changed in the smartphone market from a battle of devices to a war of ecosystems." Though RIM couldn't compete with Apple's model in 2008, it was first in Fortune's 100 fastest-growing companies. According to Comscore's report, RIM had a 37.3% market share in the US smartphone market. Globally, it had 41 million subscribers. It was the last time RIM left its competitors behind. The company started dropping and continuously gave its place to its competitors. Continuous failures were demoralizing its spirit. In the next few years, RIM's frustrating struggle was fruitless. The latest models of Blackberry couldn't compete with Apple's and Google's models. In 2010, RIM introduced the Torch 9800. With Blackberry OS 6, it had a touchscreen and a portrait-style QWERTY keyboard that slid down from behind the screen. But users wanted more apps. Additionally, external keyboards changed the choice of consumers. Now they were not interested in touchscreens. The area where RIM needed to improve was the App Store. Despite RIM's struggle to make its App Store better, it could not beat Apple. RIM launched the Blackberry 9670 in 2010, but it failed like other models. The company was just toying with flip phone designs because they caught the attention of users in 2008. But what the company did not understand was a change in choices. The Pearl Flip was off-trend in 2010. RIM introduced the bold 9930 with the Blackberry 7 OS in 2011. Despite all its good features, like a faster processor, liquid graphics, a luxurious build, and a long battery life, it could not attract customers because of the weak software platform. For users, this model was the same as previous models. They could not produce any compelling new products. The management was reluctant to follow the latest trends, like including a camera or MP3 player in the smartphone. Blackberry never decreased the gap with iOS and Android. Each time it tried to reduce the gap, it would still be 2 steps behind iOS and Android. What it could produce was the Blackberry 7, which could not compete with iOS and Android. It introduced the Playbook tablet without an email client on board. Perhaps RIM was overconfident and believed that its customers would wait for changes in the products or put up with limitations. By November 2012, Apple and Google had captured 53% and 35% of the US market, while Blackberry had only 7.3% of the market. Though Blackberry lost its position in the US market, it continued to have success globally. In the last quarter of 2012, Blackberry had 77 million users globally. The company could not realize that it needed to make great changes to its products. It was consuming its resources to make a good keyboard, while it needed to research how to make its app store. Sean Silcoff, a business journalist, said, "If the rise and fall of Blackberry teaches us anything, it is that the race of innovation has no finish line and winners, and losers can change places in an instant. We live in an era of disruption, where we are one algorithm away from being rendered redundant." The CEOs of the company, Balsillie and Lazaridis, could not bring the right product into the market at the right time and in the right place. Whatever they tried, it didn't work. They desperately agreed with Microsoft to make Bing the default search engine on Blackberry phones. But again, they failed. As the company's share was dropping, analysts and journalists criticized the leadership of the company. For example, critics suggested Balsillie's failed attempts to bring an NHL hockey team to Hamilton in Canada distracted RIM from the competition with Apple. It was reported that the co-CEO structure caused the company's demise because the dual executive structure affected the decision-making process. RIM had a co-CEO structure divided between Balsili and Lazardis that did not work at the time of the fall. Strategies to stop fall. The rapid fall of RIM forced its management to take initiatives, including changes in leadership, new competitive products, and a new company, but none of these steps could protect it. RIM leadership could not understand the changes in the market and failed to design the right products. They could not make a long-term plan to fight with their competitors. Despite the rejection of the touchscreen approach, Lazaridis did not accept leaving his 4 pillars theory for BlackBerry's success. He believed good battery life, miserly use of the carrier's spectrum, security, and an advanced keyboard were the pillars of success in the smartphone world. He could not understand that iPhone models changed the rules and expectations of the market. He failed to understand that the ability to type did not matter for the customers. As well as they were not paying attention to battery life and security, even the cost of the product did not matter for them. What BlackBerry lacked was a vision of culture and the future. The iPhone was a product with outstanding vision. The iPhone was attracting its customers, showing them their future and the role of the iPhone in making that future, while BlackBerry was offering its services, saying that this is a product that will solve your simple problems. In 2012, both co-CEOs, Balsili and Lazaridis, resigned. The new CEO, Thorsten Heinz, was appointed. Despite his struggle to bring RIM to success, he failed because BlackBerry required bolder ideas years earlier. The old and new leadership neglected an important factor that they could not complete alone. BlackBerry was paying attention to both hardware and software that were not only costly, but also required deep customer loyalty. Despite its large number of customers in the golden period, they were not loyal. Another strategy to stop the fall of RIM was a change of name. The management changed the company name from Research in Motion to BlackBerry. They wanted to consolidate the company's brand into a single, cohesive global presence, but it did not work. The company with the new name BlackBerry launched new products to attract customers, but none of its new products could catch their eyes. One of the new products was the Z10, a high-end phone. Again, it could not overcome the problem of third-party app support. It couldn't equip Z10 with enough high-quality apps to excite customers. Compared with Apple and Google, it couldn't make a unique design. Despite its solid virtual keyboard and strong camera software, it didn't have anything special or impressive. Perhaps the most significant problem that accelerated the fall of BlackBerry was the third-party apps. The most popular apps found on iPhone and Android were not available on BlackBerry. When a customer did compare BlackBerry with Apple and Android, it was shocking for him to find that his lovely BlackBerry didn't have trending apps like Instagram, Candy Crush, and Google Maps, and the important apps like Twitter and Facebook that BlackBerry had were not updated. This condition forced BlackBerry's loyal customers to leave it. A report published on the BlackBerry news site showed terrible conditions for developing apps. According to that report, just one developer was responsible for 48,000 of BlackBerry's apps. It is enough to understand how BlackBerry used its money and resources to fulfill the requirements of business professionals and ignored the general consumers. BlackBerry didn't have outside developer support, and the company itself was busy designing its own operating system and devices. What BlackBerry lacked was flexible specialization, a production model that is based on the spread of production between many different producing companies when customer demands are rapidly changing. In August 2013, BlackBerry announced that it had hired a special committee that would explore strategic alternatives that could range from partnerships to a complete sale of the company. Various potential buyers, like Facebook and Lenovo, showed their interest in buying it, but no deal was made. When Thorsten Heinz also failed to make BlackBerry out of problems, he stepped out, and John Chen joined BlackBerry in 2013. He announced, "I'm not focused on who BlackBerry used to be. I'm focused on what BlackBerry will be today and in the future." Among all the strategies, only one was successful. Chen decided to begin the transition from selling devices to monetizing software and services. Software development was not new for BlackBerry because it had already acquired QNX software systems in 2010 that specialized in ultra-reliable operating systems. They completed complex projects ranging from nuclear power plants to Cisco network routers. The deal was so important for RIM because it was providing top-notch kernel security, safety certifications, and a proven microkernel architecture. The QNX played a crucial role in supporting autonomous driving systems that included processing massive amounts of data from cameras, LiDAR, and radar to help drivers navigate complex environments. In 2015, Blackberry acquired Good Technology, which was a leading mobile security platform and managing mobile devices for governments and regulated industries. The deal supported Blackberry's stronghold among security-conscious CIOS. Good Technology not only helped Blackberry's multi-OS strategy by adding advanced iOS and Android management, but it also brought complementary mobile productivity and file-sharing tools. The US government also supported Blackberry with the approval of Good's encrypted solutions across all branches a year after Blackberry's purchase. In 2016, Blackberry announced that it had stopped making smartphones and would focus on software. The acquisition of Good Technology supported the shift toward automotive, government, and enterprise verticals. Under Chen's management, Blackberry started to recover from its worst position. Thank you for watching this video. Please share your views with us in the comment section.